man, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just good. I'm not great. You start getting out there and seeing people that are doing great that have less than you do. They didn't have the luck, the blessing that you had growing up, but they're doing way better than you are.
Sometimes we can work on the business, but as we grow and scale, it's going to require you to step in and get dirty.
Absolutely.
Right. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Real CFO Project. Man, I'm thrilled today because we've got Morgan Brown, author, business owner, and just overall good dude to kind of pour some value into the audience today. And I know I follow him on social. I see his content and his stuff. We haven't spent a lot of time talking, but just getting that information from his content is inspiring. It's motivating, and something I would, ask that you all kind of tap into. He'll give his information towards the end, but Morgan, appreciate you joining us, man.
Hey, Chad, I appreciate you having me on, man. I've watched a few of these episodes, and you do some good stuff, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, well, good, man. I appreciate it. We dive into the ever exciting world of taxation and finance, but we try to get to the real side of entrepreneurship and things like that, and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the fun stuff, right? And you wrote a book about it, right?
I did. It's not, it's geared for business, but it's not written about business. It's written more of a personal development story, life lessons, things that I realized through personal experience.
Yeah. So the chains of growing up good, you can just kind of think about that title. And when I first saw it, it resonated with me. When we grow up good and comfortable, it teaches us a lot of lessons, right? Later on down life. So kind of give us some insight on what prompted you to write the book. And then we'll just go down that trail a little bit and dive into some of the more, important details of the book.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Writing a book was something that I wanted to do. I just decided I had seen several people that I didn't think were any smarter than me that had written books. And I was like, I'm going to write a book.
There you go.
And so about 3 years ago, I decided to start writing and put stories together. And I've had an interesting life and done all kinds of different things. None of that really added up to a book. I've got 200 pages of unpublished writing that just didn't make sense for a book. And then I came up with this a little over 6 months ago now. And it only took 6 months to write it. I spent 2.5 years writing the wrong stuff. And when I finally got a direction I wanted, it flowed out and wasn't bad at all.
Man, I tell you what, I ordered it, not knowing what to expect on the inside. But sure. I love it. And it, sometimes as entrepreneurs, we read, but we got 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here. There's so much noise in the paragraphs that, we kind of have to flush through. This is more in kind of a bullet point direct style, like coming right at you that, I look at it in the morning, I'm like, damn, that one hit, is that the intent?
That was the goal. I've read a ton of books and great books, but they would take me 6-8 hours, 3-4 days, a week to get through, even on audio. Most of mine are on audio. Let's be honest. I'm not an avid. It was hilarious to be an author who isn't an avid reader. So I'll record this on audio eventually. But for right now, that's why I did it this way. I did it in short breakdowns. You can get through it hour and a half, 2 hours, and just start putting it to work rather than sitting there and reading for 3 or 4 days. Get through it. Start working on the list in the back, the workbook that I've got back there, the Crucible. Get in there and get change in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. So you wanted to write a book, kind of wanted to share your stories. You want to motivate and inspire people, but really, tell us your story, man. There must have been some challenges, struggles, and things that you had that really kind of said, hey, I want people to avoid some of that stuff. Let's get into what the true inspiration was, the pain.
And it's funny as a lot of it, I didn't realize until I was writing the book. You start writing and it really, it's therapy. You go through life stories and things that you've done and you're like, wow, that really did affect me in that way. Things that you just don't think about until you take the time to actually reflect on them. And so I'd spent a lot of time. I grew up good at everything. It's not a brag. If I tried something, I was good at it. And so I never had to really try anything. I was straight A student. I was good at sports, always on the top of the team. Everything just came easy and good. So I never tried any harder at anything because I didn't have to. When you're already good, why do you need to try? You're already one of the best ones around. And I lived that way for years. And, you realize that when you're getting a little bit older, you sit there and you realize, man, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just good. I'm not
Yeah.
great. You start getting out there and seeing people that are doing great that have less than you do. They didn't have the lucky, the blessing that you had growing up, but they're doing way better than you are. And so that kind of made me realize that I was just living on autopilot. I was
Yeah.
just going with my skills that I had naturally and not applying anything, not trying any harder than I had to. I was living a life of good, and that just wasn't good enough. I had a good business going. Me and a business partner, we had a really good thing going. We had a falling out, and a lot of things fell apart for me. I had my identity wrapped up in that business, and I kind of let that get into an autopilot stage as well, where things were great in that business, but I'd let it get back to me personally, just doing good for it. And I
Yeah.
think that put some stress in there. And then when everything disappeared, I realized all I had left was me, and good wasn't going to do it for me anymore. I had to be great. And so for the therapy of where I was sitting at in life, I wrote the book and in bringing myself back up. And I do consulting on it to teach how to run a business because, man, that's something a lot of people struggle with. They have a great ability, but running the actual business is not something they do great at.
And you hit on something that I often struggle with, and I'm sure most entrepreneurs do, is wrapping up our identity in our business. This time of year for me, especially, it's tax, it's planning. We're very popular folks right now. I just put it that way, and that's not to brag. I'm just saying maybe it's just a time of year. I don't know, but very popular, and it seems like I roll my identity into: am I working this minute, this hour, this morning, this evening, early morning, and man, you have to be intentional, kind of pull back and say that, like, what happened if it all goes away, right?
Yeah.
Or if you say, you know what, I'm just done running. Not that I am. I'm just saying, like, it's a good point that you bring up. Is like we tie ourselves so much to the work we're doing when we miss out a whole lot over here, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the culture that you're told to do. I mean, you're told to work hard, try hard, be busy,
Yep.
but busy doesn't always mean productive.
Yeah.
And so learning that difference has been huge too. That just because you're busy and you feel like you're achieving a lot in a day, when you look back, you were busy all day long, but nothing really happened. What was the point?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. So, one of the things that I try to do, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a CPA, I know the financial side of business. We help business owners and stuff. But really, where I found kind of coming through my business journey and my growth is um, I did a heck of a lot better when I got out of the way of the business, from prevented the business from growing because I was in it so much, and focusing on every pillar of
Mhm.
of life, focusing more on my faith, focusing more quality time with my family, doing things that maybe when my kids were little, I didn't do as much because I was so ingrained in being successful at business. I didn't want to be a failure. um, and fitness as well. But I find that if you focus and have not balance, right? Balance is a moving target. It really is. Some seasons you're going to be up over here. Some seasons you're going to be up over here. But working through that and being intentional about it has helped
Yes,
in so many ways for me, not only from a mental standpoint, but physical. My relationships are better. And guess what? Business is a whole lot better.
absolutely. It's funny if you don't focus on certain things, and I don't know. It's kind of like if you focus on it too hard, you strangle it. It's
Yeah.
trying to like grab water and squeeze it. If you kind of go with it and learn how to move along with the current, things move better than trying to control every aspect of it.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I go through cycles, right? You know, when you start, you own everything, you're doing everything, and then you're kind of building up, you scale up, and then you have to delegate and give more, and
Yeah,
then you build up, you build it back up, and now you got to jump back in the weeds, and then start that whole process over again, and then get out of the weeds.
hmm,
At some point, you know, where we've kind of started transitioning more is to being able to plan further ahead, but staying out of the actual business and leading the team, right? But I'm in one of those phases where we've grown so much that I have to jump back in, you know. So you have to do those things as business owners, right? And
absolutely.
it makes you uncomfortable. You have to go through it, and then you re-perfect it.
Absolutely. I had a great conversation with a guy just about that today. We met for seeing if I was going to be a good fit for consulting with him in his business. And he ended up just losing his apprentice. He was a one man show, loved being in the field, turning the wrenches. And so we had a deep conversation about, man, you're older than I am. You can't turn wrenches forever. How are you going to do this? What's your plan? And that was a thought that was just, it was deep for him. It was, oh gosh. And that's what we had to talk about was, well, that's what we have to set forward for you, exactly what you're talking about. You have to start bringing people in and delegating it and creating a packaged business that can run without you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, yeah, you're going to go through seasons where you expand, you get big, and you have to jump back in because you don't have the right people in place to handle everything because you haven't grown there yet.
Right.
But then you put those people in place and you step back out and you start the growth again.
Yep.
So I mean, you're dead on with it. That's exactly what it takes to be a successful business.
Yeah, and I just had this conversation with my business partner this morning. Like, sometimes we can work on the business, but as we grow and scale, it's going to require you to step in and get dirty,
Absolutely.
right? And at the scale that we're going, I think we have to be willing to step in and get dirty and not just be the decision maker and the person up here pointing the buttons, but actually doing some of the work and training some of the team and being that ground floor in the mud, just wrestling it. But no, good stuff. What you said you had a course around the book?
Yeah, I've got a workbook in the back of the book
Okay.
that actually breaks down getting out of your comfort zone, trying one new thing. Don't try and stack 10 things, three things, just one thing. Jump after it. And then find, other pieces to it. I mean, there's tons in the back. And it's a workbook that it's a 30 to 90-day workbook, depending on how you want to frame it. I've got it set for 30 days, but there's some pieces of it that I want you to continue on to the 90-day mark. That just change your mindset, your lifestyle, the way you are. That way you get out of that comfort zone. Cut out one thing in your life that is not doing you an advantage. If you come home and watch Netflix for 3 hours every night, well, stop that and replace it with something that's beneficial to you. Not everybody's got their own business. This book isn't for all entrepreneurs. It's for the guy who's selling cars too. Are you the best car salesman at your dealership? If so, are you the best one in the nation? Push, go to that next level, do the things that it takes in every step to be the best.
Yeah. What would you say is the hardest thing for people going down or looking to say, hey, I want to start this journey? What's the hardest part for them to progress through the 30, 60, 90 days, however long it is, right? Is it discipline?
Discipline and being honest with yourself. Starting the discipline is definitely a hard thing for a lot of folks because you're comfortable. That's what the book's for. It's for the ones that have a good home, they have a good car, they have a good life. But is good enough in the end? When you lay down at night, are you truly happy, or are you telling yourself you're happy? And so the hardest part is that honesty of, am I lying to myself, or is this truly all I want out of life? And you have to make that decision, because for some folks that really is. They don't have the drive to go further. They are happy. I don't find that to be the case with many, though. I feel like most people that tell themselves that is because they don't want to get uncomfortable. They tell themselves, I'm happy, I'm good, this is what I want in life, just because it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be painful to move past it. So they lie to everybody around them and tell, hey, I'm good, man. Look, I've got the house. I go on vacation twice a year. What else do I need? Everything looks good.
Yeah.
But deep down there.
No, I think it's very important. That's why I kind of hit on those 4 pillars, the 4 F's. There's 5, 6, 7, depending on who you talk to, right? But it's faith, family, fitness, finance. Those are kind of the core areas. Now you can break it down into various elements. Everybody, when you talk to them, or most people that are new to professional development or this, the discipline to make changes, when I start talking like that, like, even those close to me think it's all dollars and cents. Mm-hmm. I'm just, because I'm a business owner, they think all I'm talking about is business. Business is 4 in my book, in the pecking order, right? If you focus on your faith, the family, and fitness, 4th is going to work out. So oftentimes I struggle with the discipline, right? Sure. And I'm pretty driven. I've done 75 hard a few times. I'm always training, but man, my diet's off. Like, there's always that something, and
there's always going to be something, because even when it's perfect, it can be better.
And that's what I found out. It's never going to be perfect. And these battles, you're meant to lose some.
Absolutely.
Right. Cause it forges you, right? It melds you into more of a sharper tool. And that's what I think people are afraid of what this person up in the corner might be thinking about. Oh, you failed. Right. So I don't want to start 75 hard, because if I fail, people will think wrong of me, or I'm not going to start exercising or whatever, or tell anybody I'm going to lose 10 pounds because I'm afraid of what they might think about me. Right.
Yeah.
So they don't take any action. Right. Now, I'm not saying you have to tell anybody, but just start. And you say 30, 60, 90. That's great. The program's good. One day at a time. That's why AA works, man. I'm just not going to drink today.
Yep.
And you do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. No, I break that down in there, that it's a daily thing. Discipline's not a thing that just happens. It's something you achieve every day. Yeah. And I mean, that's part of the thing that whenever I talk to somebody about consulting them, I see a ton of consultants that I'll go against. Most of them are 55, 60 plus years old, about as wide as they are tall, and they're consulting you on business. And I'm like, I don't want to sound rude, but they don't have the discipline to keep themselves being in good shape, being a good looking person like that. You think they have the discipline to make you achieve your goals? If you're not going to be disciplined in all aspects of life, are you really disciplined in any aspects of life? You're going to slip at some point. If you're slipping somewhere, you're going to slip everywhere else eventually.
No, that's good information. I'm sure. I know people are getting tons of value from it, but I would always just tell people to, if you find yourself struggling with discipline or anything, quit looking at all the way out here, right?
Yes.
Just look at the day. What can I control today? And I think Andy Frisella is the one who said it. If I can, if I bat .333 in Major League Baseball, which is 33% average, I'm getting a hit one, out of every third pitch. Then I lost my audio or my video. I'm winning. I'm getting a multi-million-dollar contract. I'm Alex Rodriguez or Ohtani numbers, right? So you don't have to win every day, but if you win 4 out of 7, you're batting over 500. And you win 4 days out of 7 days.
Man, that's exactly it. And that's one of my favorite quotes that's popped up like 4 times here lately is, if it's going to take 1,000 fails to win, you're going to go out and knock out 1,000 fails as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And I love that quote, because everybody's scared to fail. I've been scared to fail many a times, But
Yeah.
once you realize that failure is just a lesson of what not to do the next time, it's not so scary anymore. And if you knew that it was going to take just even 100 fails and 101, you were going to be successful, you're going to go crush those 100 failures so that 101's here.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. It's that uncertainty that kills everybody. And I think that's why it's important for people to align themselves with mentors or others that maybe are further along than they are, whether it be business or life or whatever. And also people that are, coming up like they were, because you're ahead of somebody. If you've started, you got any time in the game, you're ahead of somebody. Grab somebody else and pull them along, because they're going to trip over the same damn rocks and speed bumps that you did on the way up. Right. But you haven't got to these speed bumps yet. So get somebody that has, and you work with them so you can navigate around them. And so many times maybe it's ego, maybe it's pride, maybe it's like, that's why we're in business, right? We're competitive. We're good at everything. So we don't need nobody. Right. You go further if you help others and let others help you. Right.
Absolutely. And the accountability side of it's another huge one that I like to touch on is you're not disciplined because your self accountability is not there. If you had perfect self accountability, you'd be disciplined, but clearly you don't, or else you'd have everything done that you wanted. So having somebody there to hold you accountable, not going to put up with your excuses, that's a big deal. That's a lot of times why I post my meals and my workouts and everything on social media. Because if I don't, and I do it every single day, and then I decide to skip a day, I'll get messages going, "Hey man, you failed today, didn't you? You didn't post it because you didn't do it." And I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that, because I used to post all my workouts and food and stuff when I was doing 75 hard. Maybe I need to start doing it. And I post some workouts, but mainly when I'm running. But it's a me thing. It's not for you.
No,
It's for me to keep me accountable, so I can see it, and it just drives me. It's that mental thing. Now you feel obligated, even though people aren't formally holding you accountable. By you posting it, sharing it with the world, you're holding yourself accountable. And then, like, if you're consistent like you are on social media, I love it. And then you go without doing it one day, people are like, "Oh shit,
Yep.
What happened to Morgan?"
I get friends that'll reach out and be like, "You got fat today, didn't you? You went out to eat. You didn't do what you were supposed to do." And I'm like, sometimes I just forgot. I got busy. I ate my meal real quick and went back to it. And so I'll snap a picture of the empty container. But it happens.
So I love the accountability piece too, but the fitness. I know you're involved. You work out. You're at the gym every morning. At least you post a picture of. Maybe it's the same picture. I don't know. I don't look that close, but you're hitting the gym every morning. What does physical fitness? What have you been unfit and are now fit? And what's the difference in kind of your outlook on things?
It changed things so drastically. I went from out of high school and college and got into bodybuilding and got in great shape. Big guy, moved to Florida, had to be in shape. I was on the beach every day. And then got out of it for 4 years. And it's happened multiple times where I've just stopped cold turkey on working out and taking my supplements and everything. And I'm naturally not a skinny guy. And so I'll gain weight quickly. And I noticed confidence goes down. Your energy levels go down. You start wanting to be dependent on other things that aren't good to be dependent on, because you're not focused. You're not disciplined on that aspect of your life. So you slip in other aspects of your life. Yeah. So getting back in shape, I decided, I think it was 4.5 years ago, that, that was the worst I was going to be until I was incapable of being better any longer because I got too old. So I've been at it for, I think, a little over 4 years now, going 6 days a week and keeping my diet pretty clean.
Good. I'm since 2019, I think, first time I did 75 hard. I go through peaks and valleys, but for the most part, I've been fairly consistent. I will tell you, the last year, a year ago, I tore my pec muscle.
Ooh.
So I couldn't run. I couldn't lift. No. I couldn't really do squat. I couldn't do anything for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't know. It took some time to heal. after 3 weeks, I think I could ruck or whatever, but I kind of got out of the habit. And ever since then, even though I've worked out 3, 4, 5 days a week at least, sometimes twice a day, um, my discipline around diet and everything is I've just been a little off, a little off. I've let comfort creep in, alcohol, a couple of drinks on date night. Oh, a couple of drinks during the game on Saturday. Oh, a couple of drinks. And so the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been on a kind of a training program with a buddy of mine. He's training for a marathon.
Nice.
And it's a running program, and you got to run certain things each day. So it's keeping me in check. And now it's making me, okay, now you got a day off, you hit the gym, or you're hitting the gym in the afternoon after you run, or you're doing this, you're getting back into the kettlebells, going down to the shop instead of watching Netflix, right? And working out, just doing something, throwing weight, whatever it is. And it's moved in my business life, my family life, just that energy, right?
Yeah.
It helps you avoid complacency.
100%.
And there's, say, between my faith, my spirituality, and getting more involved in the church, and within a group of men focused on faith and fitness, have been the two biggest things that have really created more love and growth in both my family and my business.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's every January. I travel right now for work almost the entire month. And trying to stay on a diet when you travel is next to impossible. And so, you do the best you can, which is obviously not good enough. I write about it. You could have better discipline. You could got the salad instead of the baked potato and the steak. There's definitely things you can do better. And so when I come back from a diet, like I turned 40 this year, I want to be in one of the best shapes I've been in. So for the next 2 months, I'm going to be completely clean from breakfast to dinner for 2 months. I just did it for February. I went completely clean the whole month and noticed great results. And then was like, all right, I'm going to take a month and go back to my dinners being kind of more what I want. And every time I get to dinner time right now, I'm like, I could just do the ground turkey and vegetables, or what are you cooking tonight, babe? And so next month it'll be back to ground beef, ground turkey, shredded chicken, and just doing a tight, clean dinner so that I can do 2 months of that, just getting ready for my 40th birthday coming up.
Nice. Are you, did you compete bodybuilding?
I was 3 weeks from stepping on stage when I quit.
Okay.
We found out I was having a little guy and didn't want to dedicate the time and the money that I was spending on that at the time because I was just good. I wasn't doing great. I was just autopilot coasting. And so I decided to take that time and put it towards work. And it cost me on the health side. I mean, I got out of shape pretty quickly, but I got more of a business mind, which was good. So I sacrificed, like you said, there's not balance is kind of a myth. It's not a real thing.
Yeah, you're going to drop over here, spend more over here, and it's going to balance itself out at some point across a long period of time, right?
Exactly. It's not, you're never balanced at the same time. It's at one point you're here and then you go down and you switch over. That's just how life works.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you being on. Where can people find your book, find you on the social so they can follow you?
Yeah, I'm on all the social media. Facebook is just my name, Morgan Brown. The book is on Amazon. It's on Ingram Spark as well, but Amazon's the easiest place, probably the cheapest place to find it. You can get it digitally or you can get it paperback. TikTok, it's The Chains of Growing Up Good. I'm on there that way. And YouTube is The Chains of Growing Up Good.
No, that's awesome. Morgan, we appreciate you joining us. Everybody go follow Morgan, follow his content, go get his book. I don't know what the cost is, $10, $15, something like that, right?
It's $19.99.
$19.99, I'm sorry, $19.99. Nickels compared to the value that you get out of it. And it could, change your life or motivate you to get back to who you were or how you were operating. So go check that out. The Chains of Growing Up Good by Morgan Brown on Amazon. Thanks, everybody.